Here we have a Fitbit Charge 3. We've been trying to set it up for 3 days now. What happens is when we put it on and it goes into a it syncs with the unit. So with this it'll sync and it gives a code. We enter the code in, then it goes into a setting up Charge 3. So it downloads a firmware download for the Fitbit Charge 3, and it goes into a with a bar. It shows the the amount of programming that it's completed, firmware upgrade that is completed, and once it goes into that, it goes to about maybe 50, maybe 35% on that bar, and then it will go back and it will say there'll be an exclamation mark with a circle, and it will go back to the start again. So it just keeps on doing that over and over again. This is the third day that I'm trying it, and I have no success in getting this Fitbit Charge 3 to work. I have contacted Fitbit multiple times. They have given me a lot of resetting procedures. I've completed all of those reset procedures. I have resetted the Fitbit many times. I am now traveling through Europe, so I've purchased it from Sydney Airport, and there's by the time I get back to Sydney Airport, it will be a few months. So there's no other way but to keep the Fitbit with me until I get back to Sydney, which in that time probably JB Hi-Fi won't take it back, and I'm stuck with a Fitbit that doesn't work. And I have been contacted from Facebook, Fitbit customer service, telling me that they cannot help me because they don't know, they've never had this issue before. I've also been contacted through Fitbit webpage that they cannot help me either. There is nowhere in Europe that services Fitbits, and there's no service centers in Europe that will that I can take the Fitbit to. So we are stuck with a Fitbit that cannot be serviced and that does not work, and straight out of the box it cannot be set up. I've also been contacted through email with Fitbit, and that's what happens, the exclamation mark, and it goes back into the reset, the first menu that the Fitbit came with. So there's no way of using this Fitbit at all. I wish there was, but Fitbit themselves, they don't know the procedure in restarting this. They have given me a procedure to open the menu on the Fitbit itself, but the menu on the Fitbit itself cannot be opened because it has to go through a factory, I guess it's a firmware upgrade, because it needs to go through a firmware upgrade. When you first unpackage the unit, you cannot actually go into any of the menus. Fitbit themselves didn't know that, so with their emails they've actually said to me, you can actually go into the menu, but no, you cannot go into the menu until you go for a firmware upgrade, unless that's something, just with me, with my Fitbit. But I've got another Fitbit, which is the bigger Fitbit, the square one, and that seems to be working fine. It's just the Charge 3 that I've had this issue with the firmware upgrade. The other Fitbit had the firmware upgrade as well, and it was fine. It loaded it, and then I was able to get into the menu. With this one I can't get into the menu, so there's none of the factory resets that Fitbit is sending me that I can do. I can only do the reset with the side button, which is on this side here. If anyone is getting any Fitbits or is about to purchase a Fitbit Charge 3, I would recommend that they have their receipts with them, because Fitbit does not cover or does not have any places or service centers that you can take it to in Europe. Apparently, I'm not sure if there is anywhere in Australia, but in Europe there isn't. So and if there's any issues with your Fitbit, you're pretty much stuck. That's why you should always keep your receipts where you purchased it from, and take it back to that area, because they will take it back, and I guess you can get a refund on your Fitbit. Yeah, this is about it. There's nothing else I can do on this Fitbit. Most likely I will repackage it into its box and wait till I get back to Sydney, till I give it back, or try to get it working over there. I've taken it to a couple of people who are around here, that are a bit more technical, and they couldn't actually turn it on either. So I'm guessing this one's got some sort of a Bluetooth issue. It's straight out of the box. I haven't done anything to it. I just unboxed it and tried to use it. I've got another Fitbit that worked, but this one there's no success. I've been going through the same thing over and over again. Fitbit themselves couldn't fix it either. They don't know what they should do, and cannot be fixed. So if you have any resetting issues with your Fitbit, if you're having any issues starting your Fitbit, then if you're getting this kind of issue where it's, as soon as it's loading, it comes back off, drops back off, that means there's an issue with your Bluetooth on your Fitbit, and it's a factory defect, and you're most likely gonna have that throughout its whole life. So therefore you should take it back ASAP, back to where you purchased it from, because Fitbit themselves have told me that there is no way they don't know any other way to fix this issue. So take your Fitbit back to where you purchased it from.